I was muted. Welcome, welcome to Kamisha Reviews. Now, I know everyone's talking about the Bel Air. I had to binge it recently. It's so good. I did not think it would be that good. Okay, I just didn't. So I got together with my cousin, Miss Stacy B, and we decided we're gonna talk about it because it's just a good, really good show. I don't like how much video. I'm gonna bring her up. Stacy B's in the building.
Hey, hey.
Can you hear me, Mama? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Good
I
and
can
everything.
fine.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Let me see. Okay, I'm looking at my. It's not. Why is it not letting me? I'm trying to fix my. There we go. Make sure my virtual looks good in the background. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started from the beginning. First of all, hello. How are you?
I'm good. Girl, Bel Air got me hooked.
What's up, Monique? And I know that is. Wait a minute. What's up, my girl? I don't know. The Facebook group is, a lot of y'all. So I'm not sure if it's Stacy. Could be anybody. What's good? Because all the shows Facebook users doesn't show y'all name. I just want y'all to know that. We're gonna start from the very, very beginning, and it got me hooked too. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like it, and I can remember when they was talking about it, it was floating in the air on YouTube. That little trailer that young man made, I had no idea that the behind the scenes, Will and him were cooking up something to bring us what we see right now, because it's everything.
Right, because Will said originally something like it'll be a cold day in hell or something like that
He
before
did.
yeah,
He did.
a spinoff.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what he said. That's exactly. He said pretty close to when hell freezes
Oh,
over. I got my stuff. I can see. Yes, child.
babe.
So of course,
Well, guess what? Hell hath frozen over it.
for real. So the thing about I like how they kept everything, pretty much from what we watched. It is West Philadelphia, Will, and I like the theme of young king without a crown. I so love that. What do you think?
I love it. I love it.
Yes, yes. Okay, showing that he is a great student athlete who got the scholarship and love the relationship between him and his mom, which I think is also beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So of course they go to the pickup game where he ends up, pulling a gun on Rashad, the
Oh,
idiot. And of course, Will's he everything changes. So we're gonna start there from, of course, seeing him in the beginning. This is why I want to start in the beginning, even though we know the story from the show. I like how they changed it from, I don't want to say corny because I love the show, but I'm saying let's say in this terminology. I say corny as an ABC, perfect, whatever, a network, daytime show. We see this, it is showing up to date what's going on right now, what actually happened in Philadelphia for one. They got into that more. And then showing him with the drug dealer Rashad and how he woke up and he's in the car with his mama. Let's start there. So I want to go ahead and hear what you thought about that.
it's definitely not the goofy show that like the goofy Will that we used to know. Like it's more realistic and in touch with today's society. So I really like it. I like the way it started. I was already like looking sideways, like, dang, Uncle Phil got some pull the way Will went straight from jail to the
Yes.
airport.
Yes, because he was arrested on a firearm possession charge. Uncle Phil, he is rich lawyer in L.A. He pulls some kind of strings, and I think it was he really had to pull a lot of strings to get him out of that. And I think for the mom, as all both of us are mothers, she probably looked at it like this is a once and only opportunity. He got him out of it. I don't know if this happens again, if he'll be able to get out of it, just to keep from anything happening again. He's so close to getting to his dream. I'm gonna send him out there
But
as a
we
mom.
but we can see like we can even see it just like sometimes with between rappers. Like you literally have to make like decisions like in a snap, just
Yes,
like that. Because if he would have went home, we never would have gotten to see this. And I think that's more realistic. Like when you have this inner city beef like that, you can't go back to your hood.
you can't, and that's a sad thing about it because the opportunities that he got, not a lot of kids would get. They would have to honestly deal with it, just like his friend. The situation happened to him because he had nowhere to go. So he
Right.
got lucky, as a lot of you said, rap stars who end up staying at home and are around the situation where they know they got money, living good, but they decided to stay home. So all those old beefs or people who hate or see you
Oh,
about to do this, it comes to haunt you, unfortunately, in your family. And
right.
the decision that she made, I would have made it too. Period. You
Like, my
gone.
baby
I
gotta
don't care
go
what you say.
now. Now, like, you ain't changing your drawers, you out of here.
So let's talk about when he gets up. Let's talk about um once he gets to living out there in LA. Just even the beginning, how they introduce us to Jazz.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so Jazz is a ride share driver.
Yes.
Not a DJ, but a ride share driver. So that allows us to see, and Jazz is a little more older than Will. I think in the original one they were around the same age. Like they seemed like they were like a little bit more around the same age. And
Mm-hmm.
Jazz was actually having a conversation with them, like, "Hey, don't lose you, but you got opportunity here." So I
Because
love this smart Jazz.
okay, okay. Let's go there. Most sitcoms when they have a cast, especially when it's black people involved, let's be honest, there's always that one that somebody that has to be well, not I won't even just say black, all there's somebody that's not intelligent or whatever. So like you said, I love if you look at the different, there's a lot of points in the series how they change so much, not the storyline, just critical things where you don't have to be stupid or anything like that. um let's go ahead and from there, I want to say this as far as Jazz is concerned. Being in LA, he was telling the truth because in LA is such a superficial town, allegedly,
Right.
and you can get sucked in and become a completely different person than where you started. It's always that old the young kid went to LA to get a dream, and you see him 5 years later, and it's like, who is that person? So he's just saying, don't lose yourself in this place because it happened very very easily. So okay, so he's there and he gets to see this house and his money and sees his Uncle Phil and his auntie, who is auntie. I love, you know what? This crazy thing about it, the one that's playing the actress is playing the auntie. I thought it was a really good fit. Her voice,
Oh
the way
yeah.
she carried herself, I was like, oh my gosh, she
I was
sounds like
like, this
Aunt Viv.
ain't Viv again. This ain't Viv again.
Yes, I thought it was the only one. The way she carried herself, that I could be in the hood, but yet I have a theater background. The cultural, just the whole thing. I was like, oh my god, that this is a good job by having her play the mother. And let's talk about the cousins. Okay,
Oh my gosh.
Vivian. I mean not Vivian.
Hillary. I
Hillary.
love the woke Hill. Like in Fresh Prince, she was not realistic. I mean, like a lot of us couldn't relate to her. We just aspired to be her. Like we want to have made it like her. Like we miss being spoiled and having designers and celebrities at our beck and call. But this woke ass Hillary, baby, you can't tell me nothing about her. I love her. Love. Well, I think you're muted. One more thing that
Can
I'll
you
say,
hear me?
yeah,
Okay, go
yeah.
ahead. Go
One
ahead.
more thing I'll say about Jazz is that he adds to the show like an element of contrast. So it's not like Will is going straight to Bel Air. It's like he's having a little stepping stone where it's like, okay, this is somebody that understands my life and my reality, but he also understands like the Bel Air reality too. So I did
Okay.
like Jazz adding like a middle, being like a middle stepping stone between
Mhm.
the two worlds. I like that.
The thing about Hillary that I really also thought about, the Hillary that we see now is the Hillary that we saw at the very end of Bel Air, the show. And I think what they did was, instead of us having to go through hoops and wait for it, because back then they couldn't be that radical. They would probably call being woke and all that radical for that TV. So for
Mhm.
this time period, it's everything. It's us now. So seeing Hillary being an influencer, if Hillary back then was, with a phone, can you imagine? Of course, she'd be
If
an
he had a
influencer and have a million. So the way they tied that in to me was so smart because it just was perfect. Let's talk about Lil
oh,
Mama. No, I want to talk about the little sister.
she
What's
Ashley picks up where Ashley
Ashley?
left off. Ashley is the lovable little girl, the little Ashley that we all know and love. Like so far, I haven't seen any big like changes in her dynamics, but Ashley's still that lovable little Ashley. And I mean, who cannot like her?
Because Ashley was always that little sister, that the one that struggled or whatever. Even, well, you haven't seen episode 4 yet, but I swear it wasn't any episode copycat, but it's the way their characters were. Ashley was the little sister, always trying to be big girl. I think it's a good idea how they play. I don't know the young lady because I don't know as far as like known actors and like that, but I think they did a good job with her as well.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and go to Carlton.
Baby,
I want you to go first, and I'll give you my opinion. Go right ahead.
baby, let me tell you, if you could have knocked me over with a feather dealing with Carlton's ass. Like
Hmm.
Carlton had me shook. Like,
Look,
first of all, you snorting Zanny, but it's realistic. I don't know if
very.
snoring
It is.
is realistic. I know, I don't know because I don't know about that
To,
life.
to me, to me, the reason why I'm gonna say realistic because I came up in the suburbs and the way kids were, I grew up with a lot of kids that was trying to achieve and be big, whatever, and it's serious. And so watching the old version, Carlton had moments. Now they didn't say he was doing that type of stuff, but you saw him around the white kids he was around, how they were all high achieving, how he was going crazy. It fits perfectly in that he would be doing that. To me, I was like, it's perfect because a lot of kids, and it didn't matter the race, but especially if you're black. Think about this for instance. His dad is the district attorney. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we're trying to run. I'm sorry, he's
Honey,
running for the district, and it's very he's in an elite area of life as far as being in that position, and then he has to match this, have good grades, get in this college. It's so perfect. Even him being arrogant. Now I do like how he is popular, not as nerdy as the Carlton that we saw on the TV show. I'm not sure what you thought about that. He wasn't as nerdy. He was very popular, as you saw. He knew even his sister was like, "Oh, he know what to do." You're used to Hillary dragging him, but from the TV show. But you see, she's like, you know what? He knows the moves. He's the man to go to
yeah.
there, and it's different. What do you think about that? Yeah,
Well,
right, Dina. High pressure.
I do agree with you there. Like he's the man, which was a good change from the original Carlton because Carlton was just like a little nerd thing. Um, but what I appreciate about it is that really, if somebody your age came into your household and your parents have to give them additional attention, and you're the only girl, only boy in the house, you're gonna
Mhm.
feel some kind of way. You're gonna
Yes.
feel some kind of way, and so I appreciate that in this series it's showing more of like a conflict, like how are we adjusting to this new person being in the house. And that's crazy because if we go to Lisa, Carlton's ex, which initially Will didn't, when Will was flirting with her, he didn't know that was the ex at first. So Carlton definitely should have told him when he walked up on him, like, oh, so you met my ex. He should have said something like that. But what you'll see is that, like, Lisa was like, well, I never knew he had a cousin. Do you even know your cousin? Like, do
Right.
you really know Carlton? Like, they never mentioned you to me. And I think that's fair. I think that's like more realistic.
Yes. And the fact that they're doing this. She was Will's girlfriend in the original series, and the fact that they brought her back as Carlton's ex is a twist that I thought was very good. And I think it's going to be very interesting
Oh, I think she's frozen for a second. But I do agree with her that it's a good twist that it started as Carlton's ex. And so we're going to see where Will and Carlton have beef over a girl. So they're having like this multi-dimensional beef right now over who's the sheriff in town, like the new guy versus the popular guy right now. And like initially when Will came in, he was already popular, but in the new Bel Air, he's got to fight to become loved and beloved like what we knew him as. And Carlton, he's like really juggling and struggling, trying to be that guy and trying to hold on to the reins as the head guy in charge. So I do love the dynamics between that. Like some of the surprises that I had from the first show was, listen, I was loving that Uncle Phil is fine. Let's just stop there. Like Uncle Phil got it going on. Like I kind of like that they're a little younger, Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, because it's like showing like real parents trying to deal with today's world. So like I kind of like that. Go
I
ahead,
don't know what
Kanisha.
happened. Go ahead, mom. Keep going. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. It just completely booted me out. Go ahead. Keep going. What you're saying?
I was talking about how fine Uncle Phil is and how I
Yeah.
love that
Oh.
like younger parents. Like they're not like when we watch the original Uncle Phil on Viv, they seem like, older parents that already have it figured out. But what we're seeing with the seemingly younger Uncle Phil and on Viv is like they're still trying to figure themselves and their lives out.
Yes, I
So
agree.
like on Viv, she's still struggling, like she's having like a midlife crisis where she's trying to figure out like I
Right.
gave up my life and my plans to be
Yes.
married and be his wife
Being
and
an
support.
artist. Right.
And I can relate to that shit. But now
We
she's
all
like, should
can,
I go
unfortunately.
back into painting? Should I do this? I've been a mom. Should I do, what I've set out to do, what I wanted to do, and I gave up?
So those are is that all the I think that's all of the cast from the in the episode.
No, Jeffrey.
It's Jeffrey. Oh, okay, okay. Almost forgot. This is what I'm getting into. Jeffrey.
Jeffrey's
Let me
not
tell
the
you
butler,
something.
baby. Jeffrey's not
Jeffrey
the butler with his fine self.
Jeffrey security, right? Security. Is that the
The house
allegedly his
manager.
mission?
The house manager.
To me, he do everything. He's security too, and I think that Jeffrey is fine. He's like a G or something. I don't know what I think. His way he talk, how he just walk up and say, "I got it." Don't worry about it. I be like, ooh,
Mm,
I like him. I
mm.
like the way they have his character more. He's doing more than just, you know, being that
A
funny bully.
subservient,
Yes,
a subservient
yes,
guy. No, he is like the go-to man, and I like that. It's more like they empowered the old Jeffrey to be this Jeffrey. So like, whereas Jeffrey was the to-do guy, like do this, do that, do that. This is Jeffrey got it handled. I'm gonna
yeah.
just look at Jeffrey. Jeffrey already, don't worry about it. I got you. And then he tried to get managed too, talking about he had a date. What? With a yoga
I was like,
lady.
look, what? Like I say, I like this Jeffrey. I do. But and like I said, for everybody that they have on the series, they kind of have a similar look to the original cast. Like to me, if you had them next to each other, I would say that could be his nephew or something like that. They have similar just features. But so by the end of the episode, I know that Carlton, Will punches Carlton in the face, and his trash friend Connor puts that stuff in his drugs and stuff in his bag.
Name Connor
Right?
or Tyler?
Wait, hold on.
Girl, I be getting them confused because it's the same name to me.
Oh, I messed up. I'm sorry. That was the end.
What's the boy name? Is it Tyler or Connor? Because I keep calling the boy Connor. Is his name Tyler?
Hold on.
Or is that his real name? I don't know.
Who you say?
Carlton's homie. The one now saying the
It's
N word.
Connor.
Checked him. Well, in all my notes, I keep calling Connor Tyler.
That's so Connor is the little nerdy dude that that's not because I like Will's friend because he did have a friend like that on the show. But I'm talking about Connor
Is
was
Carlton
Carlton's friend. Yeah.
okay?
So I messed up a little ahead of it. That's part two. But so he did punch him, and so episode two, this when it starts really their beat starts to really get kind of heated up. And I messed up about the drugs, but I already said it, so it doesn't matter. That's in episode two. We did put the stuff in his bag.
Right.
Now,
Ugh. I mean, we can go on over that. But I will say this. Will was correct. They did not acknowledge at one point that Carlton started the fight. Like the po' boy couldn't swim. You don't know that, but why would you just walk
okay.
up and shove somebody in the pool?
The thing about it is Carter was jealous, like you said, though.
But he deserved to get punched. And how you
That
mad?
was crazy. Pushing him like
How
that.
you how you mad that you got punched? You put your hands on him. You
The whole
almost
thing
killed
with the
him.
girlfriend, nobody knew about that. Nobody knew. Dina said Tyler is Will's basketball friend. Oh yeah, yeah. Welcome everybody to the chat. We look, see, we just over here. We talking about this how the show got us, and we
Oh,
just talking about. We talking about.
but this how we do it. I mean, this how the show get you. You be all hooked up. Oh my God.
Yes. So
We pick up, it ends where Will punches
mhm.
Connor and
That's
Carlton.
that's the very end of episode one. Now episode two, because
Ooh,
I know you didn't watch four, so we can go to three. But episode two is when everything happened with the security, finding out about the drugs bag and it was Connor. What did you think about all of that? That was insane.
it was so insane. And I feel like, okay, so did y'all catch this? I think it was craftful writing that they put in there when Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil went to the school, and they put in there, well, I mean, what's the process? And they said, well, we talked to the teachers and we came to a consensus. You what? Y'all didn't look at no evidence. Y'all didn't watch the cameras. So you talked to all of his
Girl,
teachers who only have known him
I
for
was so
2 days.
pissed.
For 2 days. But that's
Right.
how our sons and daughters get done. And I think it was crap. Like, if you don't know, you wouldn't know what happened there. But if you know, then you know what happened there. That's how it is. You get accused
Thank
and vilified
you.
for
Thank you.
something with no proof, no evidence, nothing. All they found was something in the bag, and he vehemently denied it. And he was like, "Give me a drug test. Like, do what you gotta do." Like, how would it? It doesn't even rationally make sense. Where would he get it from? He just got here 2 days ago. He don't know nobody.
Right. But the thing about it is because he was new, and then the whole thing with his nephew with the past and all this stuff. To me, it's like this: you didn't even check the camera to see what happened. That is so corny to me. Like if then you all took the evidence, you saw the camera, you say, oh, and we came to the conclusion at the very end after the investigation. No, you just did some hearsay, and look,
Right,
I would have lost
right,
it. I
right.
would, I Viv.
But
I was like, you better get him.
but tell
She
me,
was.
okay. But tell me, going through episode 1 and up until this point, episode 2, it's like they already casting Will, like Uncle Phil, in the back of his mind. Oh, I know he has a good heart. I know he has a good heart. But he constantly is in his face like, oh, this is what you did. This is, remember what happened in Philly. Da 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 da. You didn't even ask the boy what happened yet. Up until this point, we are in episode 2. And Uncle Phil never sat down with Will and said, listen, I got you off this. What actually happened?
But in the original series, Uncle Phil and Will relationship started out really like not great. They took a while for them to get to a point where he trusted him, and he did look at him like, oh, he's a bad influence on our kids. I remember him saying that on a mini episode, especially that first season when the Will was on there saying that he's a bad influence on Carlton and Hillary and all this stuff. So it ties in to the past without being exactly like the past episodes, but to show they got to build their relationship up.
But it's realistic. It's realistic how,
Yes.
like, our black sons and daughters can make one mistake or a mistake, and they constantly have to, like, try to defend themselves against that one mistake. And if we say, oh, you're given a fair shot to start all over, but we are constantly throwing this one mistake in their face,
Right.
that's so discouraging. Like, I feel like the way they crafted it, it really made put me in a more realistic, like, in touch with all the characters and what was going on.
Got you. Dino says when Carlton said don't mess with Black Mama, I thought that was hilarious.
The first time he acknowledged he was black.
Right. And I know because on the show they didn't really do that. Like Will would say something or whatever, but exactly, April. Nobody else would say anything like that. Like even Vivian on the show had her moments. But like, look, I'm black. Like, and I hate to say it like that, but you understand the premise of the show and how especially that time period. That's we had to have moments where you would know, okay, yeah, she black girl. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. I like episode 3 a little bit more because, and I know it's
Wait,
realistic
what
because
was
in fact Will was
important?
struggling so badly in episode 2 and even episode.
But don't pass
Go
up.
ahead.
Don't pass up a big thing that happened. So whereas we really didn't see like a conflict back and forth in the original series between Aunt Viv and Hillary, we're seeing it in this
Mm-hmm.
in this series. And where Hillary declined the haute couture cuisine job, and at first Aunt Viv ain't feeling it. I did you a favor. You need to be thankful. Like, water yourself down just to be accepted. And Hillary is like, no, I'm not standing for that. I don't care. She got her social media engaged, and that's really how stuff happens now.
Yes.
Like, all I do is go on live and let's do it. So I really like that they're showing more of like a coming of age conflict between Hillary and Aunt Viv, because that's more realistic.
It is. and seeing that mother daughter try to figure out like, what are you doing? You living here for free? What are you doing? Get a job, whatever. And also her wanting to be influenced by her life and her background, her sorrows or whatever it is. And she's like, look, girl, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My sister was here. She would tell me, correct me, but wanted her to be influenced by where her life and her journey, to be similar to her mother, which I think every mother probably feels the same way about that. But she wants to do her own thing. She wants to be an influencer, and the mom doesn't get it. I don't
Right.
think she gets it. You have to be in this world to understand the influence, the money, the prestige, everything trying to get to. And a lot of people around you don't get it because it takes a long time. So people don't see it for what it is, especially if you're in this type of this. I'm telling you, I know from experience when I first started, people was just like they didn't see it for anything, and so it takes time. So tell your
Well,
family, friends. Eventually, you'll get there,
I
huh?
get it. And also, like for me, an example for me, how I can relate is like, just me doing TV.
Yeah.
Like sometimes my mom is like, remember you're a mom, remember you represent a family. Like it's almost like people want you to water down who you are to be more acceptable in their eyes and don't understand like sometimes you just got to be authentically you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yes.
I like you can see that turmoil building between Hillary
Mm-hmm.
and Viv. And I think that's realistic to all of us. Like any of us who have a mom or aunt or grandma that played a role in our lives, they're always like, hey, remember, don't let your name beat you home. Remember, like it's always like serve the
Yeah.
public a watered down version of yourself so you don't embarrass us. Cause
Yes,
you are
Lord.
just like
Yes.
my mama knows, Stacey, you off the chain. I don't know where you came from. I know.
Girl.
And it's
Yes.
Hillary.
So, what else did you want to talk about as far as episode 2?
That was it. We learned that Trey got
Oh,
shot
oh,
and
wait. Hold
survived.
on. April got up a good point. Is this episode 2 about the part where he was rapping in the bathroom?
That was episode 1.
Okay, we forgot about that. Let's go to address that. And we'll go to episode 3. Now, this part, I felt two different ways. I grew up in different communities because my dad was in the military, and I did have white friends, and there was times that rap music would come on and they would rap it just as good as. And I could think about not I never had it when they said the N word around me. Never had that happen before. But I did have it happen before, but I heard people saying it in passing, and I got into a debate about it, and kids would tell me, oh, it's okay, da da da. So just saying to Carlton's to on his side, I get it to a point. I never let it slide. But when you're in that culture, you're growing up around these kids, it's really hard to just be like so quick to say, oh, I don't know, I'll probably go off of this. If you're the only 2 or 3 black kids in school, and I'm just saying this honestly, a lot of kids a lot of people would not come out and say it. They'll say, no, 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 I don't feel that way. But you're not being realistic. I,
Right,
I, I never had to deal with it too bad, but I grew up in an environment like that. What do you
right.
guys say, mama?
I didn't. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard. I mean, but I grew up in a different kind of environment, though. I mean, it's something that my kids don't use that word, and I strongly encourage them not to ever.
Same with
But
me.
I mean, I get it. I understand it because I would be offended if I heard some adults rapping and saying it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure my 14-year-old, she's offended when, other races use the word. She's
Okay.
offended, but I think she would just be as equally offended as if somebody said it to her like a friend or something. She sees it as like a curse word.
Okay,
And
I
she's
got you.
14. Um, but
Right.
you know what I thought how Carlton's little ass, how he's keeping score though. Do you remember like after the fight, after they had the fight, and after I can't remember if it was before he was declining him from going to school with him when he was like, get your own ride to school. After they had the fight,
Yes.
and he
Oh
was like,
God.
and Will
Mm-hmm.
said it to him. Will said the N word to Carlton, like, whatever, whatever. And Carlton was like, oh, so it's
Right.
okay for you to say it to me and not anybody
Mm-hmm.
else.
Yeah. I mean, it was so many about things about this show that show in real life because I can remember being a kid, and if someone did say it, and then being around my own people, we were addressing each other. Oh, it's okay for us to say it. Many conversations, man, many conversations that I've had. I know people who've had this conversation. That's why this show is so relatable on so many levels. Not saying that the other one was not, but I just like how updated, maybe I can say it like that, this series actually is.
But
I want
you,
to go ahead and jump into episode 3,
yeah,
where it seems like that Will is doing way better. He's on the basketball team. Just it seems like for him, things are doing well for him. What do you want? And now we gotta bring in Mr. Rashad, whatever Rashad, back
Rashad.
into the picture.
Uh,
Child, go ahead,
but
mama.
okay, so here's what it is. Here's
Hmm.
what we see, like from the old show to the new show. So the
Okay.
old show was filmed and created appropriately for the 90s. And it's so amazing how much we've changed in TV, where we have more writers that actually articulate the walk of life for Black people every day.
Hmm.
So in this, we're seeing how you get caught up. It's for real. You get caught up on social media. Will didn't do nothing. He wasn't on IG or anything like that, checking for
Right.
nobody, commenting. He ain't blowing Trey up like that. Like nobody knows where Will is. In the first Fresh Prince, whoever he got in a fight with, D Boy that he got in a fight with on the basketball court, never found him. He was ducked off. You can't find him. Now we're seeing because of social media, because of from his basketball game, Rashad done found him. Just like that.
Because social media, yeah, it's so different.
A
It's
good
so
week
different.
or two in, a good week or two into hiding, boom, Rashad done found him.
And that is so. I mean, he sent him a text message like, "Hey, I'm gonna find you." He's like, "Bro," he's freaking out. And then his friend Trey, everything's happened to him back home. What he got? Did he get shot or beat up?
He
He got
got shot
shot.
in the shoulder. And Trey, it seems like their friendship is in turmoil. But like Trey is
It
not
is a
accepting
little bit.
ownership. Like Trey, you want to brought the gun to the fight. And then
Exactly.
you getting beat up, and Will steps in to defend you with the gun you brought to the fight. And as you can see, Will didn't snitch on him. He didn't say where he
Mm-hmm.
got the gun from, nothing. But Rashad is carrying this vendetta. Like you a grown ass man. This boy is out of sight, out of mind. Move on. But no, he can't move on. But that's how our pride do. That's how our pride get us. He can't let it go.
And see, the thing about it is, with Rashad, he wants to get him so badly. He really wants to come. He's
It's
actually
an
coming for
obsession.
Will.
It's an
Don't we
obsession.
see? Because he had a picture of him on the plane, right? He was
Right.
on the plane, right? So he sent a picture, let him know, hey, I'm coming to LA because he got people out there too. And it's just like this grudge he has against Will because he calls him cocky. Because he was cocky and he won the game. You're mad because he was cocky for a reason because he's good, he could play. That's the whole thing I hate about the whole. It's ignorant. Will should even agree to it, obviously. But the thing about it is, the guy with the gun, just like the dude that was like, that whole crabs. Oh man, if I hadn't got locked up, it'd be me doing that. Hater. Just because you made a different decision in your life, that you went to juvie or whatever, that has nothing to do with Will. And I can't stand that. They all giving him grief because he chose to listen to his mama and do a different journey, a different path. That
Baby, it
kills
wasn't
me.
even a choice. He is a child. He's a teenager. You
That
didn't have
kills
a
me, man.
choice. Your mama sent you there. But that's just like, I mean, that's realistic. Well, how many times do we see people getting killed because somebody don't like that they have a better car, or somebody don't like that they got the new fresh pair of J's?
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody got to snatch a chain because your chain is hidden. Like that just shows how deadly being superficial and jealous can be. Like it's so ridiculous to me. And here you are, grown, picking with this child. Can't let it go. Can't let it go.
It's just
So
sad because even his friend who was going to play basketball with him to start in the first place, he was the main one that was talking noise. And it's like, you are mad because of the choices that you made. Because now you can say, if I chose a different, decided to do something different, I could have beat him. But instead of looking at it as you made a mistake, you just look at it like, oh man, if it hadn't been for me getting caught up, I'll be you. It's like, bro, how do you know that? I mean, it's a possibility, but
but
you made a different decision.
that's the dude that started it. He's the one that shoved Trey or Will into Rashad to start the fight. So your own
Because
Rashad's
he's a
own
hater.
Rashad's
He's a
own
hater
people started the
of
fight.
how his life
Rashad misread the room.
is.
threw the basketball or whatever he did, threw the basketball at him. It was just ridiculous, girl. It was just ridiculous. Oh, you know what else happened in episode
Oh,
3?
in his face. Man, that made me so mad because of the fact he walked away knowing that was him.
And didn't say nothing.
Go ahead, what happened?
I said
What
he didn't
happened in
say nothing.
episode 3?
Oh, you know what else happened in episode 3? Bruh, let's talk about Will got on to the basketball team. He and Carlton got a game the same night. Carlton flips
Oh my
out.
God.
I'm like, who is this over aggressive Carlton? And I know you don't like the word aggressive, but damn
Yes.
it, he bodied somebody on the lacrosse field and then cursed everybody
I
out.
know. I was like,
Went to the locker room and snorted 2-3 lines
yes,
of Xanax.
Xanax.
Because I don't believe in Xanax. Because if you remember from the other episode, Lisa was like, how much do you know your cousin? Like he's had his struggles. Ain't nobody gonna say you struggling with Xanax. And why he snorted?
Yes, that's what I. But they said it was Xanax.
They said it was Xanax, but I'm going on record to air quote it, Sandy.
Because they look.
We
The thing
call
about
it powdered
hold
sugar.
up. What they were saying is that just pay attention to the next few episodes after episode 3. Allegedly, some things are gonna happen. I don't know if there's gonna be them saying that he's doing that and something else. I don't know because he did have an incident. Didn't he have an incident on the old version? I can't remember what it was. That
But
he
that's
took a
when,
pill.
yes, he took some. I don't know. It might have been Xanax. Then remember he broke into
Oh
Will's
wow.
locker or something and saw some pills and took them. I don't know if he
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
but
That's
he
right. That's right.
accidentally OD'd. On the
Yes, that's
old
right.
series,
I can't
Carlton
remember. Yeah.
accidentally OD'd. On this
Mm-hmm.
one, Carlton can't live without it. Like I'm
It's
just
a mess.
so baby. I had to go check my kids' rooms, all their closets, everything.
Not
I
check the
was like,
closet. Well,
April,
I
I
look,
told you.
look. It's even in the description of the show and other things about it on script. It's showing this. It's saying it's Xanax now. Like I say, but other people are saying keep watching. They're saying that may, but people do snort it. That's true. It is true. They do snort it. But we're just saying because of the money and the famous and all the. I mean, I'm sorry, the money that he has, he can get more than Xanax if he wanted to. But Xanax is pretty powerful, especially if you snort it. Is what I was
But
reading earlier.
clearly,
You
Connor
get
is
straight to
Connor
the
the one
head.
giving it to him because Lisa was like, "You need to get away from Connor." Da 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 da. Remember
I
when?
think so.
So Connor don't strike me as. I just feel like if Zanny if Connor gonna be giving stuff, they gonna be sliding pills. They got that stuff chopped up, all like dust in nice little mini Ziploc bags.
Like I said, we'll find out what it is. Some April said, y'all think it's really
Girl,
Xanax?
I don't think it's Xanax. I think it's cocaine. Y'all about to have me throw out the
No, no,
powder.
no. Sugar, booger sugar, booger sugar.
Oh, we can't say that word.
So they be tripping. I'll probably get a yellow. I'll get it to green. But yes, they
Oh,
do trip. Yes.
well, I'm about to throw out everything in my kitchen: baking powder, baking soda, powdered sugar, anything white. We ain't even about to have no milk because that had my nerves so bad. I'm like, Carlton got me so
Oh
throat
my
and
god.
shook. We can't have nothing white in the house. Nothing that can be turned into white dust. I don't care. We ain't having it. I'm about to take out the dust
Everybody
too.
drinking black coffee. Going for it. Black coffee.
Oh, that's our new word for it. Black coffee.
No, I said black coffee, no sugar. Like you don't want
Oh,
no white in the house.
nope. No sugar, nothing. Girl,
Oh
nothing. No
Lord.
sour cream, anything white. We can't have it in here because Carlton got my nerves bad.
So at the end of it, we do see him at the game acting all crazy because of the fact, I thought it was pretty cool. The fact that because I think the Wheels going to the basketball game helped him with his campaign too in that episode 3. So he was there for the game. And look, I'm not saying lacrosse ain't no fun game, but I was kind of surprised. I was like, Carlton is buff. That game was rough. I don't ever think about that game, that sport, the cross that he plays is some tough one. When I Googled it, it is. And so it's a really big thing. And so
Yeah, it
when
is.
Will played basketball and he was winning and everybody was loving it, I just felt bad because he didn't want to leave. Uncle Phil did not want to leave. Neither did I Viv. They was enjoying themselves. And so
Boy,
when
it's
Carlton was in the
exciting.
court looking, when he was looking and saw him standing up and getting happy, he was so shook and upset and about to cry and all this, that. And I was like, oh, Lord, this is not good.
Okay, so since Carlton, his real name is Ali. Since Ali is 23, I can go ahead and say it. Yeah, Carlton fine.
He got a little, I mean, he's young. He's young. I try
No,
not to.
I mean
They,
the real actor is
yeah, I know what
23.
you're talking about.
I can tell you, baby, he ain't missed his push ups not one day.
No, no. I think the whole cast. I do like the way that the actor's playing Will. He does the facial because Will had a lot of facial when he was express himself through his face a whole lot. I mean, he would make little noises or whatever, but a lot of his stuff was in his face. And I thought that was cute the way he was trying to emulate Will a little bit. What did you think?
Yes.
That's a hard big shoes to
Listen,
fill.
so far from what we can see, the cast understood the assignment. They
Hmm.
studied the characters. They have become the 2.0, 3.0 upgrades to their
Come
characters.
on now.
And this is no shade because, like I said, their characters were on 2000 back in the 90s.
Not yes.
Nobody can replace the original cast. But if you are
Nobody.
gonna do a reboot of something, this is how you do it. This is how you do a reboot. And that's how
And
you do
that's
it.
our period. And that's our
And that's
period.
all period. We all sitting together, baby.
Oh my God. So what we're gonna do, guys, this was episode 1 through 3. We're gonna come back for I've already seen it, but she hasn't seen it yet. And I really have like said about 4, but I want to say it with her. So we got episode 4, and so I'm not sure how many episodes in the series. I think they said it might have been 8. I might be wrong. It might have been 10 episodes. Most networks episode is basically either 8 to 10. So we'll come back and do a recap of the rest. You guys can watch it. It's actually on Peacock. I don't know if it's airing on anything else. Is it airing on anything else or just Peacock that it's on? That you know of,
It's
Stacy.
on Peacock that I
That's
know.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see. I mean, I know someone said they had a full episode on YouTube. I said if they did that, it's probably gonna be the only that first one just to get you guys hooked and watching it. But and Peacock is so cheap. Like it's cheaper than Netflix and
I didn't even
everything.
know, girl, I didn't even know I paid for it.
What? Who got it? Your kid? Your daughter got it? Did the queen get it?
Look, I don't know. Look, subscribe. I just put it on. I didn't even know I had a subscription.
Oh my god, girl,
Somebody
you can
asked
watch.
me, because I've been talking about the show. I'm like, look, baby, because I only watch comedies. I don't do all this drama. I don't like all this stress in my life. But baby, I just went straight to the little Peacock app and it worked. So I guess my kids in charge of the game while I'm worried about baking soda in my house. I need to go
Well,
find my debit cards.
well, the Peacock is cheap, but the thing about like Peacock, you can watch a lot of old shows in there from Punky Brewster, and I don't care how corny I sound, I watch Punky Brewster. You can watch even I think Fred Sanford and Good Times is on there. It's a lot of good, wholesome, old cool school shows that I watch on there that I enjoy. Thank you, Dina. Hey, shout out Dina, aka Christina, my mentee. I'm so proud of Dina right now. Look, she's an interview girl. She got an interview with Wet Wet from Joceline's Cabaret.
Yay,
Girl,
Tina! Well, listen, Jabari Banks,
I,
call me. Let me get
oh,
in
let
view
me
with
tell you
you.
something. I'll be DMing Wet Wet and sending her videos every time I was like into groups. I was just like dropping it. But I'm really proud of her. This is our first interview, and I'm just really excited about it. So I will be promoting that, of course. But anyway, guys, we'll
But
be back again. We'll be
I'm gonna
back,
go
huh?
ahead and say it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Peacock need to go ahead and renew season 2 already. Go ahead and do it.
See, no, they already did.
Baby, I was about to say, baby, go.
They already knew season 2 already.
Let's just go ahead and throw in season 3 too. Because
They
I'm
probably will
really
do it.
watching when I messaged you about this show, I said I'm mad that I couldn't binge watch all 8 to 10 of them.
Mm. Somebody said I think it's free with your cable company. Yeah, they do have bundles. Peacock is smart because they're just starting out. Then like everybody else, like CBS, you have to
Okay,
pay for them separately through Paramount.
so my
But I think
kids
it's really smart.
So my kids
Well,
didn't
just
get it.
double check because I have Peacock separately from my subscription. We split it. She paid for it. Like I paid for a lot of different subscriptions, so she has Peacock. But I don't know if it's part of her. Her kids are super smart, y'all. Hopefully, we'll see them one day on YouTube or something somewhere else, and we'll leave that there.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Kamisha, for having me on today. This is my first like one review of a show. I'm slowly breaking in.
Yes, I'm literally the
And I
champagne of getting everybody go live on YouTube. That's
look,
me.
and I wore some. I wore Bel Air bling for today.
You did. She looks so
It's only a
cute.
shirt. It's only a shirt. I have on. I have Crocs.
I just so I want to say too, guys. I have a new tier on my membership program. If you want to get to unlimited graphics, unlimited the thumbnails and different things I do, please subscribe. I already have a couple people who subscribed already to get all those extra perks and everything else. So, somebody says, "Oh, love this format with you two." Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we'll be back again, guys, with the episode 4, whatever. So y'all hit the notification bell.
Hopefully,
So you
hopefully it'll be
guys,
4, 6.
you said what?
Hopefully it'll be 4, 5, and 6. We can come back with because
Yes,
girl,
yeah,
I
four,
can't
five,
wait.
yeah.
I can't wait to see y'all again and talk about this stuff.
Make sure y'all hit the bell and like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back again to do this again and all these kind of things. As I normally say all the time, this is the end. Bye.